Hello and welcome to another track guide. My name is Lundqvist and I'm a driver for Arctic Sim Racing, and today I'm gonna take you around the lap at Watkins Glen ahead of the 6 hour in the GT3. Alright, as we're heading towards turn 1, we are gonna use the 200-meter board as the braking reference. We also want to open up the corner. We want to do this to every corner, but it's really important for this one especially. You can use, as you see, there's surface in between the white and the grass. And so we wanna maximize everything we got. For this corner, it's really important as there is a lot of camber on the inside here. We wanna try to aim to have the right tires on the curb right here. We don't wanna go too much as there's a little bit up here. And it's also really important to note, even if you go on the yellow line here on the right tires, it's gonna make a big difference on the exit because you're not utilizing all the camber you have, and therefore you're losing a lot of minimum speed that you could gain otherwise. So really cut this as much as you can. See, I'm really close to this part, this is ideal. You don't want to be on this one, as I said. And then on the exit we can use a lot of curb. The off track is on this surface here. So if you have two right on the right tires on the curb, you should be fine. And it's really important to nail turn 1 and be smooth, because there's going to be a long straight, and so you can have a lot to gain. And now, as we're heading towards the toughest part of the track, the famous bus stop, we are gonna use the 300-meter board as the braking reference. And we are gonna use the 200-meter board as the turning point. And also, yet again, using all of the track we have right on the white line. And then we're gonna try to be as close to this wall as we can, as we want to open up the whole section. And therefore the entry is really important. So we wanna eat all of this curb. You can see how close I am to the wall. And it's really important because if I would be more to the left now, it would really compromise this part here, the entry, which is gonna compromise the exit as well. And the exit is what we really care about. And there's also a side note that there's quite a small bump here, which is gonna make you fly into the barrier basically. But you wanna eat this quite a lot still, because if I'm heading in the right angle, which is here, and not on the left, I can eat it quite a lot, and you're gonna see my rear wiggle a little bit, which is gonna help the rotation. So it's really important that you nail that one, as the rotation is heading to the exit. And here is also a bump here, which is gonna make you fly in the barrier as well. So make sure to cut half of it, I would say, not more. And then we wanna cut the last part as well. We can even use the grass here slightly. The off track is around here, I would say, just about. And we wanna line up the long right-hander to be in the middle of the track. If you are too much to the right, you're gonna compromise the whole line, the whole entry, which is gonna end up in a bad exit, basically. Here it's really important that you're trailing the brakes just slightly. If you watch the brake, I'm using a little brake just to point the car and make the front bite. And when I feel the front biting and they're responding, therefore the car turning, actually responding to the steering wheel, I can go and smash the throttle really aggressive. So we can go wide here. Just make sure of the off track here. So you can see really close to it. And now for the left-hander, which is downhill. You want to use the surface here as just before the surface here as a braking reference. And it's really important that you nail the racing line here, which means you're staying close to the inside, because it's a lot of camber on this one. If you go slightly too wide on in the middle here, you're gonna understeer into the grass and into the barrier. So you can take it two ways. Either you ride with the curb, you follow it, or you can try to aim for a later apex, and the apex would be right here. There's kind of a small kink, and on the entry, on the exit, sorry, you wanna not use this curb here, this part of the curb. You can see I'm doing it because I ran slightly too wide, which is gonna make the car jump right here because of the bump, which is not ideal. And for the right-hander, the uphill right-hander, you wanna use 180 meters right after the 200 meter as a braking reference, and then you wanna try to follow this. You can see this dark tarmac here. You wanna use it because there's gonna be a lot of camber here, and if you would entry more to the inside, it's gonna be too narrow, and you're gonna miss the camber, and therefore mess up the line completely. And you wanna aim for a really late apex. And also it's really important that you don't coast the brakes or the throttle, as it's going uphill and a lot of camber. You wanna go immediately smashing the throttle as soon as you let go of the brake, and make sure to not run too wide here. And as we're heading towards the right-hander, we wanna use slightly after the 200 meter, or we can use just before this tire mark is in the ground as the reference for the braking, and then we wanna carry a lot of speed throughout the whole corner, as we're gonna be able to go wide on the exit, past the curb. Just a little heads up, as the curb is higher than the actual track, it might unsettle the rear a little bit, so just have that in mind. And also have in mind that the off-track is really close to this grass here, this part. And for the left-hander, we want to use slightly after this tire marker in the ground here. And because this corner is uphill, it's going to be really important with your braking. First of all, you don't want to brake too late. You kind of want to overslow, as if you're carrying too much speed, your rear is gonna you're gonna spin basically. You're gonna oversteer a lot. And also, you can see I'm dropping the brakes quite a lot. This is quite risky. It's causing the rear to step out almost, sliding a little bit. I think, I feel like on the new tires you can do this much more, less punishable than the last tires, the old tires. Just remember that when you're dropping the brakes like this from peak pressure right here, quickly down to 10%, 5%, the rear is gonna be really sensitive and loose, and you might feel some oversteer. But overall, you wanna aim for a late apex on this corner, and you wanna use. You don't need to use all of this. If it's not needed, but I do. And then for a left-hander, the really fast left-hander, we wanna use the 100-meter board as the lift and turning point, and we wanna carry a lot of speed. We lift quite aggressive on the entry, and then increase it quite aggressive also, so at the corner. And then for the final corner, we wanna use the end of this tire barrier as the braking reference. We wanna open up the corner, so we can carry a lot of speed, and then be as close to the wall as you can. And that is a lap around Watkins Glen. I hope you enjoyed.